Hi there and welcome to a new Plugin Guru video. My name is John Skippy Limcool, and today we're going to be taking a look at Native Instruments Razor. Razor is a cutting-edge analog style, but the sound is coming from additive synthesis engine. The engine itself actually resides inside of Reactor, so you have to either own Reactor or own the Reactor player to use Razor. It's a $79 virtual instrument that you buy, and if you don't have Reactor, you can get the free Reactor player and then load up the patches and play it from there. Now, what makes Razor unique is the fact that it's a 320 separate sine wave partials, creating this incredible bandwidth of sound. And then there's tools that are kind of deceptively set up as analog synthesis tools. There's low pass filters and there's reverb, there's different types of filtering, but it's actually done not using true filtering like it would in an analog synthesizer. It's actually mathematically removing from that bank of 320 oscillators that are screaming at you in different ways to create things that sound like analog synthesizers. And then it does a whole bunch of stuff. As you can see, the oscillators have all sorts of forms of synthesis beyond, not synthesis per se, but different types of setting up of these partials so that you get different harmonic things really interesting going on. Not only are we going to look at this really cool instrument, but I'm also introducing patches right now for it. So if we go over here, I have created 72 patches for Razor, and it's called the Evil Razor Bank of Patches. And I'm also including a 30-minute video tutorial that's packaged with these patches for $30. And you can get it at my website, pluginguru.com, or you can get it at soundstosample.com, which is, let's see, maybe soundstosample.com is my partnered website. They've got a great way of getting the news out to corners of the world that I don't get to. Plugin Guru's kind of been an underground, kind of quiet kind of thing that's just been growing and growing and growing, and I want it to grow more. So they're helping me make it grow more. So I'm really, really excited with this relationship we have. So there's two sites you can go right now, pick up the 72 patches and the video tutorial. And I'm going to give you some of the sounds. I'll play some of the sounds right now. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about the interface. But if you want to get really in depth on the Razor instrument and what it can do, you need to get the video tutorial. Okay? So there you go. We're going to go through some of the patches in the Evil Razor Bank. And of course, since it's evil, we got to have... How's that for evil? Some other cool ones. And as you can see, there's this 3D output of the partials, all 320 that are screaming along at you, and how they're being manipulated by the tools in this plugin. And it's done right now in 3D, so you see the blue, that's the timeline going through. I can turn 3D off and you just see really cool sounds. Here's some other patches. Let's go over here to Cobra Vapor. This one's very velocity sensitive, so. And down here, I've got set up a slider this way for mod wheel and a sideways slider for the pitch bend. And they're hooked up so that when I move the mod wheel on my controller, you see those move. That way, as I play it, you'll be able to see what I'm doing to make sounds happen. So, the sounds of this thing are just huge. I must warn you, this is like the biggest CPU pig I own, and it will completely take whatever computer you use and steal everything it can do processor-wise, and still notes cut out all over the place. That's the only drawback to it, is today's computers are not powerful enough to handle what this thing can do. But that's what Freeze is for, and Freeze works really well and sounds great. So let's keep going. Let's pick up more patches. Here's Troll. This one really shows off some of the cool stuff you can do with the mod wheel and the pitch bend, because pitch bend is actually being used to take from this So let's get, of course, a cool dubstep drum groove happening. And let's go through some other patches while we're here. Just have some fun. So it's evil, as you can. Here's Squarehead. That's cool. You get the idea. It's wobble nirvana, man. I tell you. You do that all day long. I'm going to set this up. Some other patches. Let's have some more fun. Here's some of the leads. This is one that's showing the beat as one of the dissonance effects. And we'll talk about that more in the video tutorial. Pinball. This is using the echo. And just like the reverb, echo is actually built using the synthesis engine. It's actually not, there's no delay happening. It's actually echoing the actual oscillators to create these sounds. There's no effects for this. The only place where there's effects is for the limiter and the distortion type of effects at the output stage. Everything else is done by this manipulation of this single, where is he at? Go like this, go to the Reactor Ensemble, to Razor, Synth, right here. That guy. Sine. Sine Bank is where all the magic is happening in this plugin, because it's got 320 sine waves that are talking to you at full volume and then being manipulated with the tools you have here. And the tools here are not your standard tools. You see filter types named gaps, waterbed. You'll see things like EQ decay, where you're actually DQing, use EQ type of controls for changing the certain frequencies to be decaying or not, and you can control how long or slow they decay. Really cool, unique tools for taking all those 320 sine waves and manipulating them to make cool sounds. So while it looks like it's got two filters and even like a low pass filter, it's actually done mathematically differently than a true low pass filter, but the end result is a sound that sounds very much like a low pass filter. Some more lead sounds. Let's have some more fun. Here's Twinkle Toes. Here's another saw. Here's a really cool pad. Really cool. Look at that shape for the filtering. Holodeck is really cool. Just listen to that. So if you're a fan of incredible audio, then you almost have to get Razor just to appreciate sonically what it's doing, because there's nothing else that sounds like this that I know of. There's some cool things. Alchemy has built in it basically the engine of Camel Audio, which actually is a higher partial count additive synthesizer. And it can do resynthesis based on analyzing samples and some really cool things. But it's a different vibe than this. This is a whole different thing. So free falling. This is kind of like one of the patches I made for Oasis for the DSP plucked synth. I made this slow string that slowly, and then the energy disperses over time. That's kind of what I did here. So you play 2 notes, just an octave. Cool. And I have things like velocity set up to control the timing of the reverb, which is kind of fun. As you can see, there's a whole lot of modulation sources, some unique ones too, and we'll look at these in the tutorial. I'll show you how to set up things like set the mod wheel to do pitch LFO, things like that. Here's a mod wheel shorty. This is using the sync oscillator type. It's not real sync, but it sounds like sync. It's actually really pretty. More Vocoder. That kind of cool sound. Here's Epic Evil. Epic Evil 2 is a darker, warmer. Some cool chord stuff. So it gives you an idea of the types of sound. There's some cool effect things too. This one's cool. So you play 3 notes, and then the mod wheel. Listen to that. Three other notes. And the mod wheel. Love that. Love that kind of stuff. Here's a little drum groove. So, you get the idea. It comes with 300 patches, so it's not a slouch as far as the patches. And there's some really nice patches in there. So you want to check and go through those as well. But you'll still want Evil Razor because it has an attitude to it that you just got to have them. One thing I want to show you inside of Razor, on top of all the other stuff we've looked at, is the vocoder. And this is an area that's really exciting. So I'm going to turn down the drum loop, but keep it playing. In the video tutorial, I'll show you how to set up the vocoder. We'll do the step by step so you know exactly how to get it to work. But here you're just going to have to trust me. It's running, and I've got vocoder. There's some tricks with the vocoder I'll show you that the dubstep guys, you'll want to know about this, because a lot of the wobble bass stuff going on isn't coming from just a pure synthesizer anymore. There's some cool, unique variation stuff that's going on, and I'll show you how it's done. All right. Okay, so that wraps up this little review of Razor and the patches that I've created for Razor. It's a must-have. If you want really cool new sounds, there's not a lot of places that sound like this. In fact, I can't think of any off the top of my head. So enjoy, and coming up soon, Synth. Got patches and tutorials coming out for Synth. We've got stuff for Omnisphere coming out. A whole lot of other stuff coming out. So see you around, all right? Thanks for watching. Bye.